Good evening, everyone. We are going to be previewing the big match on Wednesday between Arsenal and Manchester United at the Emirates. And with me to do that is Kule Williams and Mustafa Jinodi. You guys are welcome to the show. My name is Stila Falabi.
All right, thank you guys. How's it going? So we're ready for the big match tomorrow. So today is just that Man U versus Arsenal, not Man U, Arsenal United. But I think this is a big game. I think on paper, a lot of people believe that Arsenal has the advantage, but Man U, I think, has depth and they're a dangerous team, especially with Højlund and with who's the guy from Portugal on the right, right
Bruno,
Bruno,
Rashford.
Bruno Rashford. Yeah. And that was, yeah. So there's another guy. Who was the guy we were talking about, Falabi, who may play?
Garnacho.
No, on the left, not Garnacho or
Ahmad.
Amad
They
Diallo.
might put somebody else.
Amad Diallo.
Yeah. No, it's a white guy. What was the guy you were talking about before, Falabi? But
Mason
anyway, they have.
Mount. Mason Mount.
Yeah, maybe
Mason
someone
Mount.
like him might play on the left.
Mason
Yeah,
Mount.
yeah. But we don't know for sure. But they have some options, and they're going to be deadly up front with Bruno and Højlund, and either probably someone like a Rashford. They're going to be difficult, but we know that Arsenal has a good. They have two good central defenders, and their fullbacks are pretty good. What do you think, Kunle Williams?
Yeah, I think he's going to go with Casemiro and Ugarte in the midfield.
Yeah, they're going to have four guys in
order
midfield. Yeah.
Yes, and then he's going to play with Ahmad on the right. And I think on the left, he might start with Dallo. He's been starting with Dallo on the left. And then he'll play the three centre backs with Mazraoui playing as the right-sided centre back.
So you don't think he'll play Bruno?
He will play Bruno in the front. He's going to play Højlund or Zirkzee up front,
Yeah.
or a combination of the two, with Bruno playing behind him. So in those three positions, Bruno is going to take one of them. Then the remaining two are going to be for Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund, and Zirkzee. And between those four, they're going to fill those two remaining spots. Bruno is going to play just behind those two.
Yeah.
So that's how they're going to play.
They might be able to. What do you think, Kool-Aid? I'm not saying they will, but they might be able to overload Arsenal's defense. What do you think?
I think that they're not well.
I'm not saying they'll win because,
but
they're going to put pressure on the defense, even though the defense is good.
I get it. I think that they're not well drilled enough to really, unless Arsenal are not on the ball and Arsenal are chasing. I mean, they need this to stay within single digits of Liverpool for the title.
Yeah,
and this United team is going to start showing its cracks very soon. And Amorim has said so. Even the 4-0 that we won, he said, look, there are a lot of things wrong with that game. We struggled in the first 20 minutes. We got lucky. The keeper made some impossible saves. It could have gone very easily the other way. He was not jumping for joy and saying that was a fantastic win. We're so great. He knows that. And if you follow United, you know that there are problems there. You know that players are not consistent. I think Arsenal have the consistency. Well, on the other side, they couldn't beat Brighton. Arsenal couldn't beat Brighton.
Yeah.
And we do have a very good record against Arsenal because we have a strong contempt for the North London clubs, which is a historic, especially around winter time when it starts getting cold. The southern softies can't take the winter. That's what we say. So I think that's all that's going for us.
Martinelli has been playing well now again, and it looks like he's influencing the team again. That's why they scored so much. So it's not going to be like the team that lost a couple of weeks ago. But so it's good. And I think he's the general of that team. What do you think, Afolabi?
I agree with you. Martinelli's game has improved. He was
no, not Martinelli. Odegaard.
Odegaard, after coming from the injury, his game has really brought Arsenal alive. He's been spraying a lot of very good passes, and anywhere around the box, he's very good at shooting. I think for Manchester United to really stop Arsenal, they have to put Ugarte on Martin Odegaard. He's going to have to follow him everywhere because that guy, everything Arsenal does goes through him. He's a very good playmaker, and he can shoot very well everywhere around the box. For me, I think he will keep majority, like Kule said, he will keep majority of his defense. Where the changes will be in the forward line. And because Arsenal will have the lion's share of possession, I think he will try and play on the counter. So expecting to put a lot of fast players like Rashford, it's likely Garnacho could start because of his pace and an outlet when they win the ball.
But it's also going to be difficult.
they are going to defend, and Arsenal are going to have more of the possession.
Yeah, and Arsenal, they're deadly though, because then they have Martinelli and Saka on the wing. It's going to be so they also are going to put pressure on Man U's defense big time.
Yeah,
this is a crazy game. And
Arsenal had to be sorry.
Go ahead, you can go on.
Yeah, so Arsenal had to be very careful with Odegaard. He's just coming back from injury. We're about to go into a very, very busy winter. He might not start Odegaard or might not want to play Odegaard too long. This is a very intense game. This is the kind of game that your key player gets injured and your season gets ruined. He's just coming back from injury. He's coming up against a team that's on the ascendancy. We're all a bit excited at United. Someone will go in with a rough tackle. Casemiro and Ugarte are that sort of person. If Odegaard, I just fear for Odegaard's health. I don't want him. I do believe that he will not play the full 90 minutes. And if he does, he could get taken off injured and he could miss a lot of games over the winter with some kind of injury or recurrence of what he has. So they have to
but
be
they don't have a choice right now, because if they drop more points to Liverpool, so they have to. I'm not saying they have to start him, but he's going to have to play all out in this game, because it'll be a catastrophe if they lose another point to Liverpool. What do you think, Afolabi?
I think what Kunle said is what they'll probably do. He will start the game. You know, Arsenal typically they start the game quickly, quick pass, incisive passing. I think he will start the game, but I don't think he will finish the game, because you have to manage. You have to manage the workload of your players. This is December. It's usually very busy, right up to the first weekend in January where the FA Cup starts. It's usually very busy. So you need your full squad right now. Otherwise,
how many games do they play during the defensive break?
But too risky.
How many games do they play in December? They play a lot.
And you know, they are going to be playing midweek Premier League games now. Every three days there's a game.
Christmas.
Yes, up to
like
Christmas.
2 or 3 games a week. Or every third or fourth day.
Yes, there's going to be a full fixture on Boxing Day. There's going to be a full fixture on New Year's Day. So it's going to be a whirlwind of games. So they have to manage their squad properly and ensure that the likes of Odegaard, who are injury prone, don't go back to the treatment table anytime soon.
Yeah, that's true. But this will be a good game. And so anyway, whatever thoughts do you have about the game, Kunle, and then we'll go to Afolabi before you round up.
Well, before I go on to the game, there's a little comment that I made about Liverpool. And I was going to say that with Liverpool, if they have an injury to Van Dijk, that's what's going to put them in jeopardy. So on this particular game that's going to happen, to be honest, I expect Arsenal to win. I think it'll be a hard-fought match. I think they might win 2 or 3-1. I think that will definitely score. But I think that they're going to outscore us. I think that we have not quite got our defensive shape right. It's looking good, but I mean, against the likes of Everton and Ipswich, I mean, this is a proper team now we're up against. It's going to be a very, very well drilled team under Arteta. You know, so it's only really the individual talent of the players that will come into the fore. The advantage that Amorim has over Ten Hag is that all these players were missing injured for the entire time that Ten Hag was in trouble. He was missing Luke Shaw, he was missing Euro, he was missing Mason Mount, he was missing Mino, he was missing so many players.
Malacia,
you know, and he was missing them just at that crucial time when there was a crisis. And look, if you can say one player can cost you, and then you have a side where 5 players, and many of them you have no left-sided players defensively. Your best left back is out, you know, and I feel for Ten Hag, but that's the past. But now Amorim has this team, but he has the strength of the fact that all those players are back. But the problem is they're playing a new system. These players themselves, how many of them have ever played a back 3 before? You know, they might understand the front 3, and they might understand, you know, the midfield. But they're going to have to look to playing Ugarte is sort of like the 4th defender. So if you have a flat back 4, Ugarte steps in.
He's the most important link on that team now.
Yeah, so that the wingers get to do their job, and Ugarte is supported by a number 8, and that number 8 is a choice between Casemiro, Eriksen, Mason Mount. But Mason Mount isn't really an 8; he's a 10. It's Mason Mount or Bruno. They haven't played well together on the field at the same time. When Mount played well at the end of the last game was because I think he came on for Bruno, 65 minutes on. So the two is one or the other. I don't know you can play the two. They don't match each other well. But that's at least an option to rest Bruno because he's 30 now. He can't use him like a machine. He needs to rest as well, just like Odegaard.
Yeah.
Otherwise, these players will pick up injuries and then you lose them for weeks or even months. So there's a lot of that management. And in that sense, I think Amorim seems to show like he likes to rotate his team a lot. I mean, I've seen him play virtually all the players, with the exception of those that are
injured.
Well,
he's trying different combinations. Yeah.
Yes. And he's been successful in the different combinations. And he's also been a bit lucky. But I think that we'd be getting ahead of ourselves without thinking that we're going to challenge for fourth position. I'm going to be
Nobody's saying that. But what we're saying, though, that
nice.
Tomorrow, it's still a dicey game, tomorrow's game, because it's a big challenge. But I mean, we all expect Arsenal to win, but it won't be a surprise if they did lose or draw. What do you think, Afolabi? Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what they say, you never can tell.
Yeah, you never.
If it was another game,
know.
If it was Man City, I would say Man City will lose.
Yeah, there's no pressure. There's no pressure in this game on Manchester United. The pressure is all on Arsenal. And I believe Amorim has an ace up his sleeves. Another area where I feel United need to be careful is that Arsenal has made an art of scoring from corner kicks, especially Gabriel. So they're going to need the height of some of their central defenders. They have a way of driving to the line and crossing the ball. Once he hits your player, they have a way of making the opposition concede corner kicks. And once you concede a corner kick against Arsenal, if you are not careful, they're going to score. They've been practicing it. That it has become like a standard way of starting their games. It happened against West Ham again on Saturday. So they're going to, I don't know how they do it. Maybe it's some kind of trainer that they have that, that they work on those schemes in training. But United need to really avoid corner kicks. And when they're defending, I think they have to go man for man and not zonal, like Ten Hag used to do. And one interesting thing is that he says he's going to use Lenny Yoro in this game. It will be interesting to see Lenny Yoro in this new system because he's tall, he's quick, he's a very young, precocious talent that, we're expecting great things from, basically.
Yeah, the way the
left center. The right side of United side for playing the type of game you're talking about, which is wingers, is fine because Ahmad can track back in defense.
Yeah, sure.
On the left side, we're playing left backs or full backs. And they're all very well good defending, but they don't have so much to offer going forward. That's, I think, the slight imbalance in that team. But Garnacho, I think he requires a bit more maturity. He can do that. Rashford definitely cannot play as a winger in this kind of football. He has to play up front in the front three as a forward. He can't play as a winger.
But you know he's going to drift a little bit to the left.
He'll play on the left as a left-sided forward. Yes, that's what he's going to play in the front three. So he'll play. He might play with Bruno behind Højlund. But he's not going to play on the wing in that four line because.
And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to make it more central.
And the problem with
Rashford, even when he tries, and it's not that he's lazy. I saw a game where Rashford actually wanted to try and defend. He's rubbish. He can't time his tackles.
He can't track back.
When he wants to try, he just can't do it. So don't let him go and do what he can do. He cannot tackle. Let him stay in that forward position.
So that means they'll have to use a wing back or something to cover that area.
They'll have to use wing backs, but preferably they'd like to have proper left-sided winger that is like Ahmad. Ahmad is the only type of winger we have that can do that role. Anthony technically can do the role, but he's left-footed. He can do it, but he cannot. But he's been awful. He's been a disappointment. And then on the left, we just don't have anyone. Malacia and Shaw are both fullbacks, and there's no left wing. We don't have any left wingers. Oh, Garnacho.
Oh yeah. And Garnacho's more flexible too. I mean, he can play more position.
He can defend. That would actually be quite exciting having Garnacho, Rashford, and Ahmad and Bruno.
Oh, that's crazy. That would look like Bayern Munich.
Yes, I'll try to intimidate Arsenal with something like
that. With Tony
because I think Garnacho can complement Ahmad left and right to play that wide wing game. And he's not done it yet. He actually hasn't done it. And then let Rashford play in front of Garnacho. He hasn't done that yet.
Okay. So what are your last thoughts, Afolabi, before we head out? Yeah.
I think the player that has really profited the most from Amorim's appointment is Amad Diallo. You know, when Van Nistelrooy took over as interim manager, Nistelrooy started using him consistently. And even Amorim said that he has Van Nistelrooy to thank, that it was Van Nistelrooy that really unveiled his talent, because Ten Hag wasn't really using that guy. Now we can see what he can do. He can keep the ball. He's quick, he's strong, he can press. The guy has a lot of talent if given the opportunity. Amad Diallo. His chances were limited under Ten Hag, really, but now he's getting opportunities and he's showing his stuff. He single-handedly dismantled that Everton defense with his pressing on Saturday. Why not for him? Those goals would not have been produced. And look at the assist for Zex's goal and the assist for Rashford's goal. He's a very, very gifted player.
And look at what they almost did to Zexi. He almost threw Zexi away. Exactly. You know, the guy barely unpacked his bags, and we're saying that he's not good enough for the sell him back. I'm not saying that therefore Zexi is going to be great now. But, you know, he played some Zexi football.
No, he has potential. Do you know what? They announced yesterday that he made the Serie A team of the season last season. No, there was a gala night in Serie A yesterday where they named the team of the season, and he made that team. It was Serie A's young player of the year. So, I mean, he has a lot of potential. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, he's adjusting.
He needs to be a little bit more fit. That's all. Yeah.
He needs to. He's adjusting. You know, the game in Italy is a lot slower, and that's why they were complaining that he can't get away with what he used to get away with.
Yeah, the guy is a body. The guy is a body.
But he's getting quicker.
He's
beginning to express himself in his style of play. He's getting quicker at picking up what he's doing.
Yeah, his body is soft a little bit.
Yeah, but he's getting there. He's getting his form back.
Wait, he's dribbling, he looks like a woman running, but he's got good moves, like good hips and everything. Yeah. But like you said, he's not fast and explosive and strong yet.
Yeah, but he can get there, and you can see that he plays. Every time I watch him play, I always think of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Because he's got some good skill.
He passes the ball around and he plays that kind of sexy football when he's there. Whereas Haaland is just simply a predator that's looking for an opportunity.
Saïd just came in because he was on the road.
Saïd is with us, so let's take some.
So well, how much time do we have left, Afadi? We'll just give him a few words.
We still have like 10 minutes thereabout.
Okay. So Saïd, what are your thoughts on the game, Arsenal Man U?
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game.
You're gonna spin your phone. Yeah.
Saïd, you need to adjust your phone to the landscape.
This?
Yeah,
sure.
Is that better? Yeah. Okay.
So on the game, it's going to be an interesting match, of course, not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but of course, if you see the performance of both teams, you know that Arsenal is far, far better than Man U at the moment. So it's going to be a whitewash. I'm thinking 4-0 or 5-0.
Come on, we're saying like it's going to be 2-1 or 3-1. But let's talk about Man U though. Man U has
performance of late.
Yeah, I know you're right. It'll be a club, but I don't know.
But I'll say one thing: this is exactly the kind of game, that Arsenal will go and drop points to Man United, and they have no business dropping points.
I don't see us dropping any points.
Game that will happen.
I don't see us dropping any points. I don't see us dropping any points.
Saïd, anything can happen. This is a very charged game, but the game is going to be played at Emirates, so maybe at best draw. Yeah.
I don't expect Arsenal to drop any points. But we're coming into the dangerous part of the season when Arsenal start getting in touch with their bottling companies. So there's that. They might the tickets are being printed for Arsenal bottling company.
But December is very, very critical in Premiership.
Tomorrow, could be next week.
A lot of games in December.
They'll have like one fantastic moral victory against a big club, and they're going to celebrate that they won the league, and then it's from there. That's Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
The Depends. That's me for us. And I think they're going to do something good against us. They're going to over-celebrate it, and they're going to start struggling.
But I think the one difference is that Man
is not around. Lose that game. If anything happens to Odegaard, they're in trouble.
Yeah, and they don't have a replacement for Odegaard. Arteta is always reluctant to change his team. Anytime Arsenal plays with their first team, they're always very good. But once they change one or two players, they're not quite the same team. And you can't keep playing so many games with the same squad. It's just not possible.
Yeah, I'm concerned they're playing Odegaard all these games immediately after a
Even
long
Saka,
injury. Something bad is going to happen.
the workload on
eventually.
Saka is
Gonna happen.
tremendous. He plays almost
It's just
every
that Saka
game.
is young, yeah, but if he gets hurt, they're finished, man.
Yeah, you know that this is not FIFA manager that's like a pixel that you can just keep. They're human beings.
It's not table soccer. It's not
They
table
need to
soccer.
rest.
It's
The
not
game,
smart
the
team
game,
soccer.
the game
Yes,
is for
but
the
it's
game is for
not.
Arsenal to lose. The game is for Arsenal to lose because we practically have almost all our players now.
Well, you guys are
Odegaard is
forgetting.
back. Saka is there. Martinelli. We have Sterling. Gabriel too is back. Harvard too is. You know, like
That's a
I think the game is for us to lose. If you are going to lose, then it's going to be like some most of our players are on their bad days. But if that, I don't think I don't see us losing that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any weakness for Arsenal.
And the game is in London, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah,
it's at the
Emirates.
Emirates.
Yeah.
It's at the Emirates.
And
So
then
they
we
don't have
drew
any
Arsenal
weakness in the
again in
game.
the FA Cup.
Yes.
It's only the
what
referee
kind
that
of
can
luck that was.
beat
Yeah,
them.
we
They
were
won
drawn
early
against them
round
at
when it
third
seems
round
like
of the
the
FA
dog
Cup.
and duck.
That should be on New Year's Day.
Yeah, New Year's Day.
When football teams like Elephant and Castle, we are playing teams like Elephant and Castle from the draw. We are picking Arsenal.
All right, guys. Arsenal. All right, so let's head on out. Last words, for we'll head out. Or do you have anything else to say, Saeed? Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm just hoping that Arteta will put on a good tactical idea, and I don't want a situation whereby, like Mr. Kunle said, that Man U will now be, like everybody. I believe everybody knows that by now. Man U is not one of those teams that should be giving us a tough time because their players is not their majority of the players are average players, if not all, apart from Bruno Fernandes. So I don't see them posing any threat to us. But if we have our tactics right, I think, like I said, it's going to be like 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, I think Kule said 3-1. What do you say, Afolabi? Yeah.
I don't see it as a wide margin victory for
I
Arsenal.
say 2-0.
Because Man United.
I won't say that United have poor quality players. I say that they have not had time to get used to their management.
I think structurally they may even have a better team than
average
in the right position.
Average
but they're
players.
not
Majority
average
of them
players.
are average. From Rashford,
I don't think they're average.
They're average.
And also,
I don't think
here's the thing.
average. I don't
Said,
think
here's the thing.
the latest
Said, I would say
average.
that
They've got a
you
lot
can't
of
just talk
quality
about average players.
players.
I think that
average
with
players
the right
are kind of players that don't win titles with their clubs, like
and
Arsenal.
also there's also something that can happen.
They don't want it.
What do you mean by Arsenal? Like,
Okay, let me say something, Kule. Let me
Well,
say something.
because
we've been
United
second
players
place for like
have won
2 to 3
trophies. Arsenal
seasons
haven't
now.
won anything. You've not won anything. How can you be saying you're playing a bunch of average players who've
And
won
also,
trophies
it's not.
when you've not won anything?
Well, won't you agree? Wait. Won't you agree with me? Afolabi.
The
It's
only
not.
club that Arsenal have
Hold on,
won the
guys.
trophies
I have a
that they
point.
used to make team.
Also, it's not just the players you have. It's not that a team can have average players and still beat a team that has better players if they have better formations, more depth, and things like that, which Manchester United does have. They have good people in certain positions, and they do outbalance Arsenal. But overall, Arsenal may have more talent. You see what I'm saying, Afolabi? Is that
Arsenal have better
Man
players.
United,
it's not just about how good your players are.
Yeah. Man United, that for the past 3 or 4 seasons, they have been playing Europa Cup, FA Cup. Is that you want to compare that with Arsenal, for goodness sake, Mr. Kule? What are you saying?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is not just about
playing?
average players.
What is Arsenal playing? I just want to know.
We are playing Champions League.
Oh,
yeah,
you won
we
it.
are getting to quarterfinal.
Oh, you won it.
Wait.
Wait. How many times has Nottingham Forest won the Champions League? Twice. How many times has Arsenal won this Champions League?
Nottingham Forest.
Times?
And when was Nottingham
Forest?
Nottingham Forest.
Talk to United. The first time to overtake. When you've overtaken Nottingham Forest, then we can come back to this conversation about European football. Yeah, but now Nottingham Forest fans can't take the Michael out of you, then come back and then you can play with the big boys.
Until Arsenal wins, until
they
win a league, until they win a league or Champions League, they have to keep quiet for now.
You need to win a Champions League first, otherwise you cannot take part in this conversation.
All right,
I agree.
Arsenal have to win, and they have to try to win the title this year. All right, so
I-
I agree, guys.
Yes,
I
and then
quite-
you
I
have to
quite
win some
agree.
trophies. You
I
know,
quite agree
we
with
beat,
you. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
we beat the
If you
best
eventually
team in
get
the
a top
land
striker,
to
we
win
win a championship. Don't
Caribou
worry.
Cup last season. The best team. Okay, keep going. How
All
many
right, guys.
years?
So that was a
When
good
was the
one.
last time they won it?
Don't worry.
Oh no, they've never won it.
Have they even won
Oh.
Champions League? No.
Never won it.
Yeah, don't worry. We
Don't
will.
worry.
We will soon.
I don't think they're going to win it this year. It's because you got
No, we're not,
Barcelona,
we're
you
not
got
going to win it
Liverpool.
this year.
Yeah.
We're not going to win it
Alright, so
this year
guys,
because
so
of
Let's see
Take
what
us
will
out.
happen first. Will
Top striker
Nigeria
we
win the
don't
World
have.
Cup before Arsenal win the Champions League? We should
Hell
have
no.
odds on that.
Hell
Which one
no.
will come
What
first?
we
Nigeria
are
win the
lacking
World
now
Cup or
is just
Arsenal
a
win the
top line
Champions League?
striker, top striker. If you have a top striker that can deliver 30 to 40 goals every season, then
But you
we'll
had
be in
Thierry Henry
contention
and
of
it
winning
still
it.
didn't work. I mean,
No, but you know what
how
the
much
problem is?
more top do
You
you
know what?
get than
Hey, you
that?
guys, you know what the problem is?
We
I think
got to second place now. Doing Thierry
Sai,
Henry
I think
period.
Sai, I think, and maybe
Second
you'll
place.
agree with me. Sai, guys, I think that Arteta does not want a pure 10 because he thinks it'll mess up the rhythm. I think he wants 4 people up front like he has without having a pure. I mean a pure 9. What do you think, Afolabi? I think that's just the way that Arsenal plays. They don't want to have because if they have go ahead.
I quite agree
Because if
with
they
you
have
because
someone like
you notice
then they'll have to play 4-4-2 or something like that.
Exactly. If you notice something about Arsenal, they never cross the ball because they don't like playing with a target man. They like wide forwards that like to cut in off their stronger leg and score the goals. And so it's hurting them because if you look at Liverpool, they have Salah. Look at Man City.
Yeah, they don't have a number 9.
They don't have a number 9. So once the likes of Saka are not firing and Odegaard can't score from the edge, it's difficult. You know, we've seen Arsenal this season.
But Saka is going to have a field day. Yeah. If Malacia plays, Saka is going to have a field day with him.
Yeah, so they don't need a number 9.
Game.
They don't need a number 9.
I watched the game where Saka turned Malacia inside out. And Malacia was at the height of his powers. So if I see Malacia on that wing, then it's going to be unfortunate for United. Right. But if I see Luke Shaw or Dalot, it might be, well, no, not Dalot. If I see a fit Luke Shaw, I think that's the only thing that can compete with Saka. Otherwise, we're
the pressure will be on Arsenal. And don't forget, Saka is notoriously one-legged. He always has to take it back to his left leg. Always has to take it back to his left leg. So without his left
that's why you need a left-sided defender to watch it.
Yeah, so exactly. So I think Arsenal will win without a doubt, but I don't think it will be a whitewash. No.
All right, so let's head out. Thank you guys. This has been a good show. Afolabi, take us out. Yeah.
Okay, it's been a brilliant show, like Mustafa said. Arsenal Man U is always a big game from the days of Thierry Henry and Ruud van Nistelrooy, and another big one tomorrow. It proves to be. So from Saeed, myself, Kule, and Mustafa, it's bye for now.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Good night.